All right, look, this is kind of something that is kind of neat for me. You know, a year ago, if you had told me that I would talk about AI, I would have been like, no, not me, not happening. You know, people pitch me on this over the years. Sounds silly. I don't even call it AI anymore. I'm actually a little embarrassed to even have this up here because in actuality, AI is just technology. And people keep saying AI. It's like a played out buzzword now. Like NFT got played out. All these buzzwords get played out. And like AI is not, it's a misrepresentation. And I don't want you to think that I don't know that. All it is technology. And the question that you need to ask yourself is, how am I going to incorporate technology into my business to be better at my business? And what technologies out there today exist? Now, the first thing I want you guys to know, before we go backwards, sometimes you got to go back to go forwards, right?
Like an arrow.
Oh, boy. There we go. The first thing I want you to know that no one ever told me until like a couple months ago is AI is an it. It's not a he, it's not a she, it's not a they, it's not a them. It's an it. You know, you can't sue it, right? It's just tech. It's like saying like, you know, your Google browser is a he. No, it's an it. It's just an it. It should be treated like an it, okay? Early adapters in this new frontier are going to be heavily rewarded. There's no shortage of opportunity today, okay? It's very important. Even if you got a small little salon, so to speak, very few salon owners are thinking about how they can incorporate these new technologies into their workflows. Now, let me ask you something. Now, when you think about like AI though, and from like robotics standpoint, that robotics is just one way you can use AI. There's a million ways to use AI, especially for this room. One of the things to keep in mind is lead gen. New business development can all be done using AI. When you're sleeping, you can clone yourself to work at night. You can really download your thought processes and your workflows and put them together, and it can be reaching out to help you find new candidates for your business or new personnel to work with. It can do a lot of the vetting, a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the remedial tasks that are painstakingly challenging can now be replaced with technology. I was in a conference last week, and it was, do you guys know what LexisNexis is? Yeah. Right. Anyone not know what LexisNexis is? In the legal profession, if you want to do due diligence and you want to learn about case law, there's Westlaw and Lexis. And they're kind of the big boys in the room, the monopolies who have all the records. You can find, there's a lawsuit that my great-grandfather was in, that the records, and you can read the whole course and all the briefings and all the documents from that case is in these databases that are run and managed by Westlaw and Lexis. Lexis just launched their Lexis Plus. This is the latest thing in the legal world, Lexis Plus, where they took their entire database and took AI and they fed this database into the AI. And the AI now has like intelligence that can look at the data from a perspective that no human has the mental capacity to understand it with. Lexis's thesis was within 2 years, 25% of the workload that a law firm's associates are doing will be replaced by AI. The last time anything like this happened in the legal profession alone was in the late 80s, early 90s when Excel spreadsheets came into existence. Before Excel, do you know how law firms did their numbers? They had accountants in-house. They had financial people in-house who literally sat there with ledgers And they kept track of everything. And overnight, like that, literally overnight, 25% of the people working in these law firms were fired and replaced by technology. No different than what's happening today. Makes sense, right? Right. Now, the thing to keep in mind, though, is AI will not replace you, but you who use AI and incorporate AI into your workflows will have a significant advantage over your competitors. How many of the people in your profession have talked about using AI for lead gen? To you. To you. None. Because most barbers and hair salon owners are like, I don't even know where to begin. And again, I said at the beginning here, I'm at the forefront, and I'm having a hard time keeping up. Yep.
Is there a difference between AI and ML?
ML? Machine learning? Yes. Yes. We'll get right into all of that in a second. It's my expectation. I could be wrong here, but I'll put on the record. 2 years. We got 2 years. There's a gap right now where you've got people who know about it, but don't know where to begin, and they're just looking around being like, are you doing anything? You're not doing anything yet? Okay. But they kind of want to do it. And then even once the ones that do start it, then there's like a learning curve because then they got to condition all their employees to start doing it. Right? And you know that old saying, good data in is good data out? Right? So you got like these disconnects, and it's going to take 2 years for the dust to settle. It's kind of like when social media came out, and it was like, oh, the Facebooks. You know? But then now, even my grandmother, before she passed, was on Facebook. Yeah? So there's a learning curve, and you got this like time delay, and you got 2 years. Anyone know what I mean by blue ocean, red ocean?
Not the book?
We're talking about the actual concept of blue ocean, red ocean. Did you read the book? No? You have the book. Well,
At least you've heard it.
so what's really crazy is there's this concept called blue ocean, red ocean. Now, in a red ocean world, let's talk about real estate agents. There are a gazillion real estate agents. And it is shark eat shark world in the real estate world, right? And the ocean is this red ocean with all these real estate agents all fighting for the same fish, right? And they're chumming. It's just red ocean versus blue ocean. Right now, today, September 2023, the AI technology landscape is all blue ocean. There's very few people like me who have a conception of what I conceive and have the freedom and luxury to start being creative and thinking about how can I incorporate this into my workflows and other people's workflows. But I know that when I come up with an idea or I find a technology I can plug in, not many people are doing it. And there's these new career opportunities that are popping up for a blue ocean landscape. Make sense?
Blue ocean meaning it's not bloodied waters?
You got that right. And it's very easy. In a red ocean landscape, it's hard to become the king fish, right? Like the king shark, because you're constantly competing against all these other people. Versus now, in 8 months, I'm an expert in AI. I'm up here talking about AI. When I said a year ago, I knew jack squat about ML or LLMs and ChatGPTs and Buzz, you know. But now I know. That's a relatively cheap entry. Think about it. I'm talking to some people. I go to a couple conferences.
You definitely didn't do 10,000 hours in 8 months.
Definitely did not do 10,000 hours. But I'm doing pretty damn good relative to everyone else. Yeah.
That's the point.
Now I launched a new. I came out of the Villanova Law School, this entrepreneurial in residence position. Was at the school and I got to work with all the students. I got to see all the new up and coming technologies, and I consulted with the school and the students. And I came out. Now people are paying me for my consulting services to come into their business and help them incorporate technologies into their workflows. So I'll put that out there. It's called New Business AI. It's my newest company. I got a whole team around it. If anyone of you or your friends need help, I'm the guy or a guy, and I can help. I'm certainly here to help and learn. This is interesting from McKinsey. 26% of senior leaders have AI initiatives today in the US. That's a lot. They could be lying, because I think it's a little. I don't think 28 million firms, a quarter of them are doing it. Maybe they're lying, but I haven't seen it. But according to McKinsey, 26% of senior leaders have AI initiatives already planned for 2023. 17% of these organizations have mapped AI opportunities. So they're already starting to create revenue based off using AI technologies, or so they say. And 43% of organizations lack any clear strategy for AI. So of the 28 million firms, almost half don't even know where to begin. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so blue ocean, right? They don't even know where to begin. So now you can make money and figure out how you can incorporate these things and take advantage of the position that currently exists. All right, so we're going to go over a couple things with AI, answer some questions like what is it, what opportunities exist, what are the ethics and challenges, and how do I integrate it, and what's the future look like, and what's the long-term outcome. You got machine learning and predictive analysis, right? So machine learning is basically, it's not intelligence, it's data and understanding data. So you get like pattern recognition that a human mind wouldn't have the ability to compute. And now, based off this pattern recognition, a computer can tell you, based on the historicals, this is what the most determinative outcome is going to look like. That's machine learning, right? These predictive analytics based off of previous experiences. Now, here's the problem with it. I said it before, good data in is good data out, right? But not all data is the same. I'll give you an example. You put up a camera in an airport in Atlanta. That's a bad example. Let's pick put a camera in an airport in Zimbabwe, and it's facial recognizing 1 million people a month that are going through that Zimbabwe airport, right? Keeping a whole database. Well, you put some Caucasian people through that airport. The data set has been trained up mainly on African people, dark-skinned people. It's biased towards dark-skinned people. Its accuracy isn't necessarily going to be as complete as one that has the opposite, the inverse. Not all data is the same, and there's going to be biases and things are skewed. It's something that's interesting. And then you can think about like the different policies around the world. In America, we're a pretty open society, but in other cultures aren't. So these AI models are trained on the data that they're fed. And if they're fed data that's heavily skewed towards a certain demographic or mindset, then the output isn't going to be something that might be universally recognized. It might only be geographically recognized, or you see what I'm saying? Right. So it's something to keep in mind. You got these natural language processing models. We're already using AI every day when you spell check or your email filters. That's AI. It's just technology. But when the Word doc already says these are the next 3 words you're going to want to type, and you hit tab and it goes and you don't have to type those words, that's predictive analytics. That's something that's going on here. There's also this really unspoken part of AI, which is like human reinforcement. When you're like trying to go through the verification process on Google, and it's like, which one's the cat? Check the cats. They don't just do it, the capture. They're not just doing it to gate you from getting through to make sure you're human. They're doing it because they're training. You're being used to do work. So you can train their models to know better. So now when you have the Google Glass out and you pull it out and you hold it up to something and say, what is this? It can identify, like, that's a lotus flower from the whatever species, because they've had it trained up by people, And there's all this data, and it's like, oh, this guy Googles flowers all the time, so we're going to give him these captchas that show flowers so they can help us identify which one's the red row. And now that's how it learns on red rows, based on human training. There's a lot going on in like the Philippines right now. That's kind of like a little scary because they send all the smut overseas. So it's like, which of these explicit photos should be banned from our site? And the Filipino people, unfortunately, are getting the brunt of, they're looking at like awful images, trying to identify so that these things can be trained up on what is explicit and what isn't. But they're actually using humans to train up the tech, to make the tech smarter. And it learns. It's not like the human mind, which can easily forget some things and get a little sloppy. AI is pretty concrete. It does a pretty good job. So these databases are the source materials, and these databases are made up of different data from different cultures, and it's just important to keep that understanding. So this is a revolution. Things are changing in real time. So you have some serious questions that you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to compete? And how are you going to participate? There's many areas that you can participate. Automation and efficiency, right? So you can streamline some operations. Right now, I can think of a couple examples, like if you want to create a blog post, and you want to do a blog post every Monday, right? Karina's going to be like, okay, I'm going to make a blog post on, on bankruptcy every week that people can subscribe to for de-stress, right? And she could spend the whole weekend writing this blog post. Or she can go to ChatGPT-4 and say, write me a blog post on whatever ABC. Or what are the top 10 things I should write about blog? Give me 10 ideas for writing blogs about bankruptcy law. Here's 10 ideas. Great. Expand upon all 10 of these, at least 500 words, and automatically create a campaign to post these stories on my blog every Monday at 4 p.m.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, say that
Yeah.
again?
You can even tell what voice to use. Because there are people that say, write this story in the voice of Kanye West or something like that, or like a
that's
rapper,
amazing.
and it'll do that. It's like a poem. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
You can also teach it your style.
You can.
How do you do that? We talk about that.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going. I'll get to all this for you, the heartbeat.
And by using
But you can have it. It's all about there's so many tools to do this stuff. You can add a custom image. It's like, and I'll walk through some things, but this is just a high ideas on how you can start incorporating this.
How do we know if it's plagiarized?
Okay, so right now the law is none of it's plagiarized. It's all plagiarized, but the law doesn't see it as such. It's not protected work product. You're not going to be sued. You're going to get a cease and desist. And if someone sends you, by happenstance, discovers that you're using something that might have been taken from you, you just take it down. Okay? You talk to your in-house counsel over here,
Just
Karina.
like any good college student. Rewrite 25% of it in your own words.
Or you can ask it to rewrite it.
Even better.
There's an eye for them.
Now, I can give an example. I asked ChatGPT to give me a funny joke that I could say, and I said the joke was, it said, I went to get breakfast at the local diner, and it had a sign that said breakfast anytime. So I ordered French toast from the Renaissance. Or and I thought that was kind of interesting. And then I Googled the joke. I was like, that's a pretty novel joke. And that joke was from a comedian from like 1963. Yeah. Proof that it's an it. They can understand. And the way it works is kind of interesting. It's a large learning module, right? And what it's doing is it says, it's like a whole predictive analysis. So it's like, okay, if you use this word, then statistically, these next 15 words come after that word. And then it can break it down so that it can actually seem like it's smart and intelligent. And so far, So far, all the scientists who are creditable have claimed that it is not artificially intelligent as we know intelligence. Chatbots are huge. All of you, I would suggest, it's relatively cheap. There's a couple of chatbots out there. I would put a chatbot on your website. You know, it can be your voice. You can train it up. You can put your, if you've got like an employee training manual, you can train it up. Like, this is how we, you know, and then when someone comes to your website and they want to schedule an appointment, they got a little bot and be like, "Hi, I'm the salon bot. My name's Dale. How can I help you today? I want to make an appointment. Great, we have these openings. What day is best for you? Tuesday. Tuesday it is. See you Tuesday, 2 o'clock. Automatically, it'll put it on your calendar. It'll be like, oh, is there a person in the salon you prefer, or do you want me just to pick who's best available? My point is, you don't need a secretary or a front desk clerk for $9.95 a month and maybe 2 hours of your time. You're going to save yourself, what do you pay a clerk in the office? $2,500 a month? $3,000 a month? $10 a month now.
Yeah, this is Jersey, so.
You get what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying?
A lot more.
Okay. So a chat bot is cheap. Get a chat bot, $10. Train it up. Takes 2 minutes, and then just embed the code on your website. Whenever anyone pops up, it's really easy. If you don't know how to do that, let me know. I can help you.
You also have to manage your online calendar.
Of course. But that's only one thing it can do for you. It can do everything for you. It can write your blogs every week. It can create custom images. It can follow up on your clients to make sure they had a good experience. Hey, how was your this is Dale again. How'd your haircut go? If you're not happy, what will it take to make you happy? This thing can become your best friend, and can tell you, oh my God, that guy didn't have a good experience. And it's going to say, hey, this person, I suggest, I'm a chatbot, Dale here. Hey, listen, so-and-so person came into your salon and isn't happy. Just want to give you a heads up. You might want to reach out. Here's their phone number. And then you can call them. And then you can say, hey, I called that person. I gave him a $5 discount. Please mark his account for next time he comes in. The chatbot will do it. And the next time he comes in, he says, I got a $5 discount. The person can look back, oh, yep, Dale did it. No other salons are doing this. If anything I'm telling you right now doesn't exist or you can't find it, you're going to let me know.
Yeah.
And or it's coming out in the next 2 years, so be prepared. But there's all these Google plugins and ChatGPT plugins, and man, there's so much out there I don't even know. But I'm telling you it's possible because I'm seeing these things do this. And so people are doing it, and some people are paying like $5,000. They'll pay $5,000 and they'll build a whole custom AI stack, right? And they'll have it and they'll do everything I'm just telling you. You can. There's this no-code applications now, and you basically say, in plain text, here's what I want you to do, bot. Write me the code so that it can do A, B, C, and D for me. And then you can just embed the code, and it'll do A, B, C, and D for you for $10 a month. Now, I don't know all the answers here, but I know that they're out there, and we can figure it out together, or you can just look it up and Google it and talk to people. And I'm not saying, again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier today, which you got to know when to say no and when something is like too shiny and a distraction. But this is, again, for your information, you're on the forefront right now with me, okay? And this is all that's happening. So here we go, guys. This answers a little bit of the questions that we had earlier today. You know, this is interesting. This is one model, right? Look at all the players involved. So when I say it's an it, right, this is an it. So who are you going to go, if something goes wrong or your data gets leaked, who are you going after? Good question, right? A little bit of some of the pitfalls and the challenges of AI. Any data you're given it, there's no guarantee and there should be no expectation of privacy. So as a doctor, you got to be kind of aware. You can't just let it go through your books.
I've cured myself using ChatGPT.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions about the future of medicine. Every profession's now in a little bit of a disruptive state.
Yes.
Crazy.
All right, well, how can you incorporate AI into your business? You know about, again, walk with a little trepidation, because it's a little early.
How can you use it for lead gen?
Great question. Let me answer. We'll pause right there. I'll circle back. First thing I do as a business owner, if I'm in your spot, I'm like, you know what? I want to incorporate AI into my workflow. Well, first thing you got to think about is where would you incorporate it into your workflow? Maybe it's top of the funnel lead gen. Maybe it's HR. Maybe it's customer service. Maybe, maybe it's document review. Again, there's many areas that you can incorporate it. I would research what AI solutions already exist. A simple Google search. AI apps for calendar, for my calendar. And read all the different AI apps that exist for a calendar. Right? Ask for demos. Don't just install it blindly. Unless you got a good referral from like our boy AJ over here, don't just open and go without doing your diligence. You don't want to be victim to like that dude who created the app from China that just used it to steal people's data and then exploit it so they can, you know what I mean? Right. Do your diligence. A/B test. There's 3 calendar systems. Or there's like, 3 note-taking apps for your Zoom meetings. A/B test. Ask for a demo, ask for a free trial. All these companies are founded, they have small teams. You go to a website and it's like the app that AJ just showed us. It's 2 dudes and a dog running that app, getting $20 for every download, right? Making bank. I have one friend, he launched his app last week. He's getting $10 a minute. Right? Blue ocean, just happening. But when it hits, it hits. But ask for demos and figure out which one you want to go with. And then set aside a modest R&D budget. Right now, what you can do today, immediately, is pay $20 a month for ChatGPT 4. $20 a month. Download it today. Pay it. Give it to all of your employees. Buy that 10-user subscription that AJ's talking about.
Pay less.
And offer it to your employees. Say, hey guys, we're going to do a 30-day test with ChatGPT 4. I got you all a subscription. Try it out. Tell me what you think. We're going to have a separate meeting on September 30th, the review, your feedback. I want your honest feedback. Please, please, please try it. Okay? Get their feedback, and then you can have your employees tell you how they're using it or what they liked about it. And maybe they won't like it. Maybe it's not for you.
How do you think it's going to change over time?
Over time?
Gosh.
Well, funny you should say that.
They're going to kill us all. What the heck?
Over time, the future employment and labor, I think we have 2 years to figure it out. 2 years from now, the world's going to be very different. I don't know what that means yet, but it's going to be very different. 25% more efficient. It's going to free up 25% more time. 25% more.
Yes, I could figure it out.
25. Well, listen. If you go back and you research news articles from every single innovation since like the Industrial Revolution, and you look at what they said about the automobile. The automobile is going to destroy the.
About electricity.
You look at electricity. You look at television and radio, cell phones, the internet. Every single one has a doom and gloom story, and in some ways they're right. Childhood obesity is up. Depression is up. Right? ADD is up. So a lot of these things that the Unabomber put in his manifesto have come true. Maybe he wasn't a frickin' crazy maniac and there was something there. Okay, he was crazy. This is clear. But what I'm trying to say is, some ways they're right, but 90% of what they said didn't happen. And in fact, it's been the opposite. The internet created more jobs. The tractor created more, decreased poverty levels and created more food, less hunger issues. So I think it's going to be the same thing with AI. I think we're in a little bit of a, transitional period, so it's scary. No one likes change. No one likes change, and this is change. And I think Andrew Yang had some things that he was right on when he said about this universal basic income. You know, UBI was a thing a couple years ago, and everyone was like, oh, you're crazy. Maybe he's right. Maybe there's going to be like a PPP loan for AI equivalent to help people make the transition between, you know, because like no one, the reskilling of the workforce is like not going to happen. My father is, no matter what AI tech comes out, you can't reskill my dad. My dad's like, oh, that AI took my job. And I'm old, I can't redo, you know? But there should be some type of subsidy to help people like my dad who are at the point where they're past their career and their jobs can be replaced, right? There should be a good transition there. So we'll see what happens with it. It's a lot of trepidation, but I think it's going to open up all these new opportunities. Like right now, I started a new business now that's helping teach people how they incorporate AI into their workflows. So I'm kind of like preaching what I'm speaking here, and that it's creating new opportunities that'll make up for it. How many people became millionaires because they bought domain names?
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How many people now are creators on YouTube or TikTok? My 16-year-old nephew has 2 million followers on TikTok. You know, he's making $5,000 a month as a 16-year-old kid. So there's a economic creation engine that comes with new technology, and there's no difference here. But it is that $5,000 that's going to my cousin came from somewhere else. So where's that coming from? And there's these questions again. 2 years. We have 2 years, but it's happening right now.
The new search engine as well.
Yep.
I think that's why Google's worried about it, right? Because anytime I want to look something up, I go to ChatGPT and learn about it in 2 seconds versus do hours of research.
In the workplace, it's for you guys to help figure out and craft your industries on how you're going to incorporate it. You know, you have the luxury right now. You might not want to do it. It might be a distraction. It shouldn't be everything you think about, that's for sure. You got a lot of other things. This should be a nice to have and nice to be considering right now, but don't force it. Take your time and understand the most important part, which is it decreases privacy. Not every industry is okay with that.
Well,
But-
that and sometimes the human connection.
Oh, right.
You know?
There's a human element there, but there's also, it's a weird part. I was in a bar.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Some people now are like, oh my God, I got an AI wife now. Yeah.
It's been so bad.
I was in a bar 3 months ago, and some guy comes up to me, and he sits down, and he looked like something out of like the Star Wars park at Universal, or was it Disney, right? And he sits down next to me. He goes, hey, you like technology? And I'm like in line for a beer. I'm like, yeah, I like technology. What are you talking about? And he pulls out his phone. He goes, want to meet my wife? And he had a virtual AI wife.
Perfect place Disney World.
They don't argue.
Look, this is my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend.
Spend your money.
So the first thing I said, well, what do you mean this is your wife? He goes, this is my wife. I go, who said I love you first? She did. Well, you know what? This guy is now in the real world, out of his mom's basement. And he's so proud about this advancement that he felt compelled to share it with a stranger at a bar.
Is that kind of metaverse-ish sort of like aspect of the transition with this, or?
You know, the Web3 virtual world.
This is called mental health issues.
Maybe. You know, in some cases, people are using it as therapy.
Yeah.
I said to the guy, the conversation,
Everything has a pro and con.
I looked at him, I said, this is your wife. She said, I love you first. I'm like, does this concern you at all? He goes, well, the therapist says it's healthy.
I'm glad he's seeing a therapist.
It's also
God bless him.
He gets a dopamine.
You know, you put on these headsets, right? Has everyone put on a virtual Google goggle glass thing or whatever the hell, the metaverse, Oculus? Yeah. You know, you put it on, and after 20 minutes, you're done. You know? You're in there, and after 20 minutes, you're sweating, the battery dies, you want out, you're like, oh, I'm back. Until they have it like your glasses are on now, and it's like very seamless, and I think we'll get there in our lifetime, but in the next decade, I think it's too expensive, and we'll get there, but it's not there yet. There'll be an augmented reality layer, an overlay, where you put your goggles on and then you can see like an elephant standing in the back of the room here.
One contact in.
Something.
Apple's got it coming, right?
Maybe. We'll see. They failed in many things, and this might be another thing they fail at.
$3,500.
It's my point. You know, and then people go, oh, it's the first one. Okay, well, you know what? Google spent billions of dollars launching Google Glasses in 2012. You remember it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a
But then you remember the first time you saw someone wearing it. You're like, nerd.
No, like you're in the bathroom.
You're like, I don't know what. I'm not going to talk to you. Take the glasses. I don't want to talk to you while you're wearing those. I don't. You know. So who knows what's going to happen? It's all about. And Apple has a good track record at hitting it right, but they also they've screwed up before. They've retired things too. And at $3,500, you know, they say they're going to use it for like real estate purposes or construction purposes. You can see your house without actually, and then these people for industrial, commercial purposes will be buying it more than the residential home use, which I subscribe to a little bit. But then again, if they can make the gaming as compelling as it sounds like they can make the gaming and all this stuff, we'll see what happens. And the economies of scale will bring the prices down. Again, the jury's still out. Who knows what's going to happen here? We're still, you know, the dust is still settling.
The augmented reality aspect of things is going to be huge. Though.
Hey, listen, we go to restaurants right now. Who thought QR codes would be on every table?
You have a menu in your vision. It's
Yeah, you put them on, and then a dude floats out of your table and then says, hey, would you like to hear the specials of today? And it's like
If you want what you had last time, I mean, Shake Shack.
it's coming. In 2 years from now, things are going to be so different. And it's 2 years from now. So, but again, remember Blue Ocean.
Yeah, is it blue ocean or is it blue pill reality?
Is it what?
I want to taste
Blue pill.
steak in the Matrix. Food sucks here.
Well, here's an interesting thing to think about, right? So what's the global impact? What's the global impact from all this? And if you think back in 2012, Twitter brought on Arab Spring, took down governments.
Wow.
It didn't. It took down a lot of governments.
Yeah.
It did.
I mean, it influenced a big push, but
Twitter brought down governments. Social media brought down governments. What will AI bring down? Right? And if you think about it, like 60 Minutes had that AI special last month. Did anyone watch the 60 Minutes on AI?
Yeah.
60 Minutes had a special on AI. They interviewed the CEO of Google. And they said, what are your thoughts on AI? The first thing he said was that AI is the biggest innovation to mankind since the invention of fire.
Yes.
That's what they said. They didn't say social media was as big as fire. And social media took down governments. So what will AI do? These are questions.
It'll make you immortal.
Hopefully.
No,
You know,
I'm not bullshitting.
in some ways, I would love to have my legacy so my great-great-great-grandkids can be like, hey, great-great-great-great-great-Pop Peter, what would you do? And I could pop up and like, oh, here's what I would do. You know, it would be kind of fun. I wish I had my grandfather to consult for some things.
300 questions.
So,
Pointy thumbs.
now here, and this is a great point, right? And besides, this is interesting. The first thing is actually knowing this and learning this. So they can have like you can know what the bumpers are and the parameters for what's happening. So we'll start there. There's a little crash course, you know. I'm still learning. I can learn a lot from AJ too, from what it sounds like. Every country today operates differently. In Italy, there is no ChatGPT. It's illegal. So it's expected, it's not going to be the same everywhere. There's going to be this whole big have-nots and haves. That split's going to be interesting, continue to evolve. And in my opinion, to answer your question, what happens, I think you got to put treaties, some global treaty in place. I said it before, there's no shortage of opportunity on how you can incorporate AI into your workflows. The biggest thing, like I said, is lead gen. I think lead gen, this is my last slide. Oh, hell yeah. No, this is coming soon. November 9th, I get to see you guys all again. Back to my question, the question is, how can you incorporate it today? I think all of you should be looking at new lead generation with AI. There's a bunch of different applications. One of them is called Gong.
Oh, yeah.
G-O-N-G. You can Google it. Gong is like, they have, I forget how they got their data sets. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they have access to they teamed up with some email server. And then so they know, they have the world's largest database of contacts. So if you want to search all the women between the ages of 20 and 35 who live within this zip code, Gong now has the email addresses, the phone numbers, and all the contact information for those people.
Yes.
Yes.
It's weird, I get Gong reminders for meetings.
There's so many tool sets. And you can now create an AI bot that can reach out, you plug in and do some lead gen and send emails out to all the target demographics that you're trying to coordinate with.
Through the chat GPT,
Yeah.
it'll send email?
It'll write the email, it'll send emails, it'll plug into HubSpot so you can do
Plug
campaigns.
in and you put in your like-minded.
You can be like, write me an email campaign and target the female demographic between the ages of 20 and 35 in this zip code.
But you still have to put it into HubSpot.
There's plugins now. So it's getting easier to do what I'm trying to do. AJ can kind of help me bring some method to this madness here. But what it'll do is you can set up a campaign. So it'll send an email to 400 people. And then it'll wait. And it'll know when people open the email. And then if they don't open the email, it'll send them another email. Hey, sorry you missed my last email, but I just want to make sure you got it. Maybe it went to the spam folder, but look, please see the below. I really have a good, compelling business opportunity for you, or whatever, right? Or if they did open the email and they didn't reply, it'll ping them again. Hey, I saw you opened the email, but I just want to make sure, maybe you didn't get a chance to reply. If you reply today, I'll give you 15% off. And then it'll stay on top. It'll run the top of the funnel, your lead gen for you. And it sends 400 emails, maybe 4 convert, and then it'll see it, it'll pop up. Here's the 4 that converted for you. What's my next task? Or do you want me to run another set for the next 400? Let me know when you're ready. These types of lead gen in AI, type in lead gen AI tools for your business, and just play with it, see what comes up, and do what I said before, A/B test, because there's going to be a couple tools out there that you want to work with. Don't just sign up for the first one and pray to God that works. And guess what? If the first one doesn't work, don't be afraid to try another one. This is an important slide. Identify what systems you're currently using today. If you use HubSpot, if you use Salesforce, if you use any other CRM, and then Google what AI tools plug into HubSpot, and then see all of them on there. Or just Google what AI tools are good for salon owners. Ask for demos. When you go to the website, don't just pay and download. Say, I would like a demo. When can I set up with one of your sales reps? Explore an A/B test system. So if there's 2 or 3 out there, and maybe if you got a budget for it, set aside R&D budget, maybe build your own proprietary app. So if you're the first salon app, it might be another revenue model.
I want to create an app. I have a really great idea. I just need some investors.
You see what I'm saying? You can create a minimum viable product. That can be a prototype. Or you can find an app that'll build it for you. No code app, no code. Guys, any questions?
Oh, God.
Look, the jury's still out. I don't mean to scare the hell out of you. I'm just trying to give you some ideas of real world examples and what's happening. And there's no shortage of opportunity here. That's the biggest thing. If you can learn anything from me, it's here. And I will be back in November. You get to see more of me. Hopefully. Hopefully you like me enough. So, all right.